Hey guys, and welcome back to No Longer Hidden. My name is Shayna Marie and I am back with another video. So go ahead and pause this video, pray, ask God to show you my heart posture, ask God to give you further instructions on this video, if this video is for you in this season. If not, ask God why he brought it to your attention or why it was on your feed, and ask God to show you what it is that you need to do with this video. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and get started. So guys, as you guys know, I am on an assignment, and this assignment, God has really been not only teaching, of course, the person that he has me assigned to, but also me. I am also learning a lot of things. I'm also learning how to utilize the things that I've learned in my season of isolation, as well as in the wilderness. And I just wanted to let anybody know that's going through, not going through, but anyone that is in their season of getting ready to come into physical manifestation of having that prodigal in your life come back, whether that be your spouse, whether that be your brother, your sister, any kind of relative or your friend. Please understand and don't take it lightly what you've learned in your season of isolation and in your time of in the wilderness. Please understand also to have grace. While on this assignment, I'm also learning that even though God has assigned this person to me to help this person, to minister, to pray, to mentor, God has also taught me that there are times where I am going to have to separate myself. There are times where I am going to have to allow them to have their own encounter, their own encounter with God, so that they can build that relationship with God. Please do not, even though we may not see it this way, something that God had brought to my attention is don't be selfish and take away their time to have an experience that is going to bring them closer to God. Thank you, Holy Spirit. So don't allow your knowledge, or don't even allow pride to get in the way to make you think that because you know and you have knowledge of certain things, and you know just by the way that a person may behave or the way that they may speak, that you have to intervene. Only speak when Holy Spirit is leading you to. Something that I thought that I was doing right was I'm always having to have something to say to this person, or I'm always having to correct them. And what God had to show me was only intervene when I tell you to. Only intervene or say something when I tell you to. Please understand what we've learned in the season of isolation. I know one thing for myself is I've learned to pray, and I have prayed about everything, and I have not complained like I used to. That was something that one of the biggest things that I've learned in my season of isolation was to bring everything to God. And that is something that we still have to do when we are on these assignments with whomever it is that's a prodigal in our lives. We have to bring everything to God. We have to pray. But at the same time, we also have to give them grace. We too have to remember that everything that they're going through, we have gone through those same things. We have made those same mistakes. Okay? They may say things that you've never said, and that's something that also God had brought to my attention. They may say things that you've never said, but best believe your actions is what God told me. He's like, your actions show those very things that they have said. So though you may not have said those very things, or say that you don't trust God, your actions before you were saved, before you had an encounter with God to develop the relationship that you have now, your actions showed God that you didn't trust him. So please understand that there may be different ways in which you may have gone about gone about whatever it is that you've gone about to have an encounter with God. Allow that person, give them grace, allow them to go through that season, allow them to go through whatever it is that God is allowing them to go through. So even though you may see them going down the wrong path, that time that you've learned in a season of isolation, to pray and bring everything to God, still do that thing. Still intercede for them. Still pray for them. Still ask God to cover them. Ask God that though they may be going down the wrong road, ask God to cover them, that they may have an encounter with God. Also, something that God has been teaching me is that this is why God doesn't force himself on anyone, because manipulation is a form of witchcraft, and God is not he's not a part of any kind of witchcraft whatsoever. This is why we also have to learn that we don't need to manipulate anyone into doing right. We only speak up when God has called us to speak up. We only encourage when God tells us to encourage. God allows us to go through life lessons so that we can have that private encounter with him, so that we can develop that personal relationship with God. So if you see your spouse or whoever it is that is a prodigal in your life that God is sending back to you, if you see them going down the wrong path, bring it to God. Don't intervene. Don't be that person that is going to correct everything that they do. They're not going to be able to learn. They're not going to learn all the time by you correcting them. They have to learn by their mistakes. They have to learn by having a relationship with God. And once they develop that relationship with God, God will be the one to intervene and say, hey, you're doing the wrong thing. This is how they learn to also hear God's voice and distinguish what is of God and what's not of God. Okay? So I hope this is helping some of you during this time. There's something else that God had brought to my attention. Okay, thank you, Holy Spirit. The other thing that God had brought to my attention was when we do those things where we're always, intervening without Holy Spirit leading us, what happens is they look at us as perfect. And they already look at us as perfect. And they feel as though because they think that, first of all, they think that we don't know what it's like to be in that life. They don't think we know what it's like to experience betrayal, people doing witchcraft on us. They may not think that we have gone through a hard life because of the heart posture that we now have, because of the light of God that shines through us. They see us as perfect. And when we correct them, they feel that it makes them feel small. It makes them feel as though, how can I put it? It makes them feel as though that they will never get it right. It makes them feel as though that they will never be where we are. And even though we may have good intentions, we really have to remember that we have to be Holy Spirit led. Though they are our assignment, and though God trusts us to lead them in the right path, we still have to be led by the Holy Spirit. Even if we see them going down the wrong path, allow them to have their experience, allow them to have that encounter that they need so that they don't need us anymore. Please understand, even if it is your spouse, when we are married to our spouses, we still have to have an individual relationship with God. It's not, even though we're one, we still have to have our individual relationship with God. So even if it is your spouse and you feel like, Lord, I don't want him to feel like I don't love him, I'm not helping him, God knows what he's doing, and God knows, and your spouse knows, and your relative knows, whomever that prodigal is, they know that you love them because God brought them to you for this very moment. Because when they do fall, because of the wrong that they've done, when they do fall because of the path that they've taken, you are going to be in position. So you need to stay in position for when they do fall, when they do start learning that life lesson. For those that may have prodigals in their lives that aren't their spouses, those that are not your spouses, they aren't going to have you all the time. They're not going to have you every single day. So they have to learn on their own. They have to develop that relationship on their own. I know it may not be easy sometimes. I know sometimes it may be frustrating, but please, when they may even get on your nerves sometimes. They may say things that will irk your nerves, because the love of God, the love that you have for God now is so much stronger, that they may say things to really that may really upset you. They may say things about God that may kind of dampen your spirit or just kind of vex your spirit a little bit. But please understand and ask God to help you to identify that spirit rather than taking it personal. God knows that you love him, but don't stay in that anger, or don't let that comment or that phrase or whatever it is that they may have said that is negative about God make you forfeit this assignment. Don't let them not learn something that they need to learn. Take it back to God in prayer. Also, this is the time as well that you need to, the very things that you see them struggling with. If you see them struggling with the spirit of Jezebel, if you see them struggling with the spirit of pride, of arrogancy, of anger, whatever spirit that you see them struggling with, pray for them. Pray for them to be delivered from those very spirits that they may be fighting. You have to understand as well, we're also brought in their lives. God has made them our assignments because God no longer wants them to be comfortable in their sin. He no longer wants them to be comfortable in their ways of living. He wants them to see that there's other ways. He wants them to see that they too can be delivered from those things. Don't take offense if they feel as though that you may not even know what hard life is. Don't take offense if they may feel like you don't know what it's like to go through life alone, to feel betrayed, however you may see, however it is that they may be doing it. Don't let them make you feel as though that you don't understand. There you go. That you do understand, and in due time God will vindicate you. God will show you that you may even have gone through way more than they've gone through. So please understand that excuse me, when these prodigals come back into your life, remain who God has called you to be in their lives. Despite how they may treat you, despite what they may say, despite the fact that they may not even understand what God is doing in their lives, even when you yourself can identify the blessings and the speed at which God will confirm things for them, where God will bring things to pass for them. Don't look at it as don't get upset when they don't understand it, when that's not enough for them to move or to trust in God. Just keep praying, and if it's in God's will for you to ask God to forgive them for not being grateful for the little things that he's done, just ask God for him, for him to, excuse me guys, just ask God to forgive them for being ungrateful and move forward. I will tell you this. I'm very grateful for my season of isolation and being in the wilderness, because if I didn't have this, I would have walked away. I would have given up. I would have called out the very things that I see in this person, and I would have destroyed them. And when I say destroyed them, I would have hurt them very badly, and that's not why God sent them here. So if you're listening to this, or if you're watching this and you are in a season of isolation and in your season of being in the wilderness, don't take it lightly. It's a blessing to be there. And I am just being in this situation, I am so grateful for my season of isolation and this God separating me from people, so that I can really learn how to distinguish his voice from my own thoughts, and so on and so forth. So if you're in that season, don't take it lightly. Take out a book and start taking notes, and remain at the Father's feet. Remain at the Father's feet. But guys, I hope that this really does bless you. Share this with whoever you think needs to hear this in this moment. And if you are the prodigal that is listening to this video, please understand that the mistakes that you're making are perfect. It's perfect in God's eyes because it's bringing you closer to him. Even though you may feel like he's far away, he's closer than you think. Until next time, guys, I'll see you later. Bye.